Hi, my name is Connie Harris, and my life-changing educator is my mother, Kathlyn Joy Gilliam. She was the first in a lot of areas in DISD, the first female African-American president of the Board of Education for 2 terms, vice president for 2 terms. She caused equality in administration and in the schools. That was one of her goals, was to make sure that we had more people of color in those positions. And she worked diligently to make that happen. People kind of gravitated to her. They relied on her opinions about things. She was honest, and she would not tell you anything that wasn't the truth, whether you wanted to hear it or not. It was said that my great-grandmother never learned to read or write, and we found her blueback speller, and I asked my aunt about the story behind that, since she didn't know how to read or write, and she said that Grandma would have her spell words from the speller, and then when letters would come in, she would have my mother and my aunt read them to her. And they would take turns going through the speller and spelling out words. Well, it became personal to Mom that Grandma couldn't read or write. And so she set out on a mission to do everything that she could to make sure that people were educated and were not left behind, that they were included. A lot of people don't know that she was really rather comical. She'd have us all laughing about certain things. And she was a singer. We were raised in a little church called Damascus Missionary Baptist Church, and our pastor was Reverend L.J. Brown. And my mother was the lead soloist in the choir. She had a lovely second soprano voice, and she was just normal. It wasn't until after she actually came off of the board that I really realized how important the work that she was doing was. In fact, after her funeral, my aunt said, "I didn't realize that my sister was such an important person." But that was just the kind of person she was. You never would know that she accomplished anything, because she wasn't the kind of person that bragged about it. You know, if it got done and she helped get it done, that was just something that needed to be done. I grew up at 2507 3rd Avenue, which is now Robert Cullum. The house was purchased by DART for DART Rail, but my mother could have lived anywhere in this city, but she chose to live in South Dallas. So when they made her an offer for the house, she said, "I will move only with one stipulation." And she said, "You'll have to put me in a house in South Dallas that's comparable to what I live in now." And so they got busy and they found her a house on Wendelkin Street. She loved that little house. And she loved the people that lived in the community. So when she moved to Wendelkin Street, she organized another organization, the Wendelkin Driscoll Neighbors, and it was a neighborhood association. And she was president for maybe a year, and then she turned it over to someone else. But ironically, she would start these organizations, and then she would turn it over to somebody else for them to run with it. And that was her mission, to make people understand that you can do this, we've got this. One little person doing all these things, so many organizations that she founded, so many community activities that she was involved in. And she was able to see the new school go up. It was just amazing. You know, this is my mom, who we talk every day about just routine things, nothing major, but she was able to accomplish that along with all the other things in her life. And and it all came from her heart. She used to always say, "Connie, you can't go wrong trying to help somebody." And I know that to be true. Case in point, the Willow Award that she received, it was given to her by the Adolph Coors Company back in the 70s. And she was acknowledged for being a volunteer community service individual that stood out. They honored her at a banquet and they gave her $25,000 along with an award. But she didn't keep any of that money for herself. She gave every penny to nonprofits in the community. So that was just the kind of person that she was. Very caring, very giving, and wanting to see people succeed. And so she did her share in making sure that they did.